Hello, credit union friends. Welcome to this episode of Three Questions. I'm Greg Michlig, President and CEO at CUInsight.com, and it's great to be joined by Fred Barber, Vice President of Solutions at Synergent. Fred, thanks for being here.
I'm excited to be here and really thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we've got those three questions queued up for you, and I know our audience is eager to hear your valuable insights. So here we go. What core processing trends are credit unions paying the most attention to right now, and what should they be prioritizing over the next 12 to 24 months?
Great question. I like to look at it as, it wasn't too many years ago that credit unions were looking at a core processing partnership, and they were really expecting that core processing partnership to do everything. And I think the big change, or maybe the big trend today, is that creditors are looking for a core processing partner that's going to enable everything. And what I mean by that is that the basics are still the same, right? You need a core processor that is going to be stable. It's got to be up, it's got to be running all the time. You want a partnership that's stable, that's continuing to push the product along. Security, it's table stakes, right? I mean, to even say it on this interview is feels a little strange, but every core processing system has to have that. But I think the biggest thing is flexibility today. And that means that you want to be able to drive two things for a credit union with your core processing partnership. One is efficiency, and the other is growth. And everything boils down to that. Right? So on the efficiency side, it's about flexibility from the perspective of business process improvement. Is it you're not just, here's how the system does it, now build your credit union around it. It's like, let's take a look at the way you're built your own business processes, and let's enable those, let's improve those. Same thing on the growth side. The core processor isn't going to grow your credit union for you, but it can certainly enable that. And what I mean by that is that access to data, access to understanding your members, but in an actionable way. And then being able to use the core processor to enable things like member relationship management. So you get to know your members better, not just in the branch or through the call center, but also through your digital channels. So a big part of it is enabling that digital transformation that every credit union is pushing through. At the end of the day, you want your core processing partnership to be kind of a cornerstone of what you do, foundational to what you do. You never want to have to change it again, but you want to be able to put yourself in a position where everything can continue to change, right? The mix of fintech solutions that you have. As you grow, the different products and services that you need to be able to offer. As you grow, the efficiencies that you need to drive within your organization so that you don't need to continue to add staff in order to accommodate that growth. And the core processor, it's a cornerstone to all of that, but it doesn't do it on its own. So it needs to be able to integrate with the solutions that are going to enable those goals at your credit union. And those are going to change over time as you grow.
So that was a lot in your first answer. And I know one thing I grabbed out of that was you don't want to change your core processor going forward. I've heard and have witnessed the core conversions, and definitely something you want to try and avoid going forward. So to try and make sure that doesn't happen, what questions should credit unions be asking when they're seeking a new core partner?
Yeah. I think the biggest question you can ask when you're seeking a core partner, and you can ask it in several different ways, it's show me, right? Show me in the demo, right? I want to see what the solution is, what it can do. I want to be able to ask questions and have you take me places that are specific to my credit union. But that's a controlled environment. It's always the best place to start. But then show me with your credit unions, right? You've learned a lot about me as a credit union. I've learned a lot about you through the demo. But now show me how your credit unions are really making use of those technologies that you just showed me, and how you're helping your credit unions take advantage of those technologies. And then show me your people. If I select a core processor today, I want it to be the last core processing conversion that I go through. That means that the system has to do what I need it to do, I need to know that the system's going to evolve as technology evolves. But I also need to know that the people that are going to kind of be an extension of my team for the next 5, 7, 10, who knows, 20 years, that they're a good cultural fit, that they fit with me, and that they're going to help not just answer my questions, but be proactive and drive my credit union forward.
So there's probably a reason they're talking with you if they're looking for a new core partner. And you touched on some of these things, but beyond just the features and functionality, what should a strong core partnership actually look like?
Well, I like to think of the technology as just being about 50% of the core partnership, right? It all starts with the technology. You can't do what you need to do with your core partner unless they have the technology that's going to enable it. But the technology doesn't do it by itself, right? The technology is only as good as the people behind the technology, the people at your credit union, as well as the people at the core provider that are helping you make use of that technology. So I think once you've gotten to the point where you've said, okay, this technology, this core system looks like the right core system for me, um, don't choose it yet. Go get to know the people that you're going to be working with. They're going to be that extension of your team to make use of that technology. So I think that's the biggest thing. Are they a good cultural fit, right? Do they, are they in the credit union movement? Do they believe in the credit union movement, or are they just really a vendor that's providing a service and interested in making a profit and driving their own revenue? Do they have the skills? In other words, are they able to take the technology that they're delivering, not just the core, but I think you're going to find that there's other technologies that they're going to bring to the table, and are they able to help you make good use of the technology today and the way they're going to take you through that conversion and implement that technology on day one? But 3 years out, 5 years out, are they still helping you make use of that technology? Because the technology has undoubtedly changed. Your credit union has changed. The community you're serving has probably changed. The demands of your members has changed. And so it has to be an ongoing process where you're forever continually matching up the technology to the credit union's particular needs.
It's really helpful. In a short interview here, you've really laid out a nice roadmap for credit unions who are going through this process. Thank you for spending the time with me. It's been a pleasure to connect with you and really appreciate your insights.
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity. Great short discussion here, and loved answering the questions.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And thank you again to all who tuned in for these three questions video interview. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.